Do you know who does know the difference between men and women? The Holy Father, Pope Francis. And Pope Francis receives a lot of criticism from the public because he says things and is reported to have said things that sometimes seem a little strange, and often the Vatican chalks this up to errors of a translation where the Holy Father was misinterpreted. And one can have all sorts of interesting discussions and debates about that sort of ambiguity. On the question of gender ideology, Pope Francis has no ambiguity whatsoever. In fact, he says that trans ideology is the ugliest danger facing the world today. He just said this again. He said it many times, so I'm not really surprised, but he just said it a couple days ago. He says, "It is very important that there is this meeting between men and women, because today the ugliest danger is gender ideology, which cancels out differences." He said that through extreme ideologies like transgenderism, the left is pushing to, quote, make everything the same. Quote, erasing differences is erasing humanity. Man and woman, however, are in a fruitful tension. He made these comments to members of the French organization, academic organization, Research and Anthropology Vocations Institute. Very, very true. And it's true in all of these different ways. Men and women, there is a little tension. Often it's a kind of a nice, romantic tension, and then, you date and get married and have lots of children. And it's good. There's vive la différence. What the libs want to do is just erase all of that in the name of a false kind of equality, in the name of a false kind of unity, a unity where they break everything down and mash it together in an unnatural way. We like unity is good. We want unity is where strength is. But we want the unity of men and women to be in their complementarity, not in their interchangeability. When men and women become interchangeable, they don't get stronger, they get a lot weaker. They're mutilated, they're castrated, they're often left sterile, they're often left with shorter life expectancies, they're left far more confused, and they're left alienated from reality. But even on this, he goes beyond gender. He says here, erasing differences is erasing humanity. This is true of geographic differences. This is true of national differences. It's true of racial differences. You're not really allowed to say these things anymore. And you're not allowed to say it because some people that go too far in the other direction, and they make an ideology out of gender and sex, or they make an ideology out of race. You don't want to do that either. The libs want to deny all difference, national difference, racial difference, sexual difference, all sorts of difference. Some ideologues swing totally in the other direction, and they make an idol out of sex. You see this a little bit with the kind of red pill community. They make sexual difference the singular, ultimate difference in all of life, the most important thing to focus on. Or you see this with people who sincerely have hang-ups on race, when they make race race isn't everything. It's not nothing, but it's not everything too. What you want is these distinctions and differences to be understood in accordance with reality, in as much as they correspond to reality, and within their proper place. I guess it's sort of the difference would be between the attitude of men and women are so different, and men and women are so different. How about that? No. Different peoples of the world are so different. And different peoples of the world are so different. How charming. Isn't that so wonderful? Don't you love to travel and experience all these different cultures? I suppose that would be the difference. Because there's an ultimate harmony and unity here, specifically in the religion for which Pope Francis is the supreme pontiff and the vicar of Christ on earth. And that would be that there is neither Jew nor Greek, nor slave nor bond, nor male nor female, but all are one in Christ Jesus. All are one in Christ Jesus. All are not one in terms of the flesh. All are not one in terms of geography. All are not one in terms of your genitalia and your biology. There, those differences remain, and there's a higher unity that comes about through the complementary working of those people with their legitimate and natural distinctions left intact. Good stuff from Pope Francis.